We're a few minutes after 6, so let's begin. In terms of how this presentation is going to go, many people may have seen, been in the show. Just curious how many out there, if you can put it in the chat, are new to the Riverdale ArtWalk.
I put it in the chat.
Yeah, just put it in the chat. Yes. Oh, great. Lots of new people. That's fantastic. Well, I have to say that for anyone who hasn't done an art show or hasn't done the Riverdale Art Walk, it is the best show to have as your first show. We are, our clients, our customer is the artist. We are great at orientation. Morgan Booth, who I'll introduce you to in a minute, does an amazing job, and everybody's new. That's great. And you'll feel very supported through the whole thing. So just by way of introduction, my name is Carolyn Laidley-Arn, and I am the chair of Artist Network. I have been the chair for the past 2 years, and I will be handing the baton on to Lisa Lidowitz in mid-May, so before the event. But I'll continue on as the past chair. For those of you who don't know, Artist Network is the group that organizes both ArtWalk, Riverdale ArtWalk, and ArtWalk in the Square. We are a non-for-profit organization with about 215 members, mostly practicing artists. We are primarily run by volunteers, with the exception of a few people. Barb Lewis, who I assume you all have met, and Barb keeps everything going at Artist Network. She's critical to the operation. And of course, Morgan Booth, who is the organizer for both of the art walks, has lots of experience, is an amazing artist herself, and is really important to our organization and does a great job. So by way of introduction, Artist Network is a nonprofit run by artists for artists. We're dedicated to helping artists build sustainable professional careers. What became as a local outdoor art exhibit has grown into a leading hub for artist development in Toronto. In addition to the art walks, we operate Leslie Grove Gallery on Queen Street East, hosting group and solo exhibitions year-round. Our education programs, which happen generally monthly, offer professional development sessions tailored to working artists. And our artist membership fosters a supportive community with ongoing opportunities to learn, exhibit, and grow. Now in its 27th year, the Riverdale Art Walk is one of our flagship events, showcasing contemporary fine artists, art, and the artists behind it. So with that, what I'd like to do is introduce you to Morgan, who will take you through the presentation. And there is lots to know about. You'll probably feel a little bit overwhelmed, but as you sort of put all the pieces together, it will come together and it will be a great show and an amazing experience. Morgan?
Thanks so much, Carolyn. First of all, welcome everyone. And I just want to say a huge congratulations to each of you for getting into the show. We had an absolutely unprecedented amount of applications this year, and it was really, really competitive to get in. So congratulations, guys. And we are very excited to see your work on display at the show. I also want to do a couple of little housekeeping items. So if everyone can make sure that they are muted, that would be very helpful. And also, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And at the end of the presentation, we'll be addressing all of the questions in the chat, because likely most of them will be answered in the presentation. But I'm sure there'll be some stragglers or people who come up with more creative questions for us. But we will answer that right at the end of the presentation. All right. So your outdoor show team, myself, I was just introduced very kindly by Carolyn. Thank you so much. I'm an artist as well. And further to that, I'm an art nerd. So I'm really excited to see all of your work up close, in person. I'll be inches away from your work trying to figure out how you did that and how you did this. And I'm also an extensive art administrator. I've been working in art events for many, many years, and it's my favorite thing to support artists. So very excited to be a part of the show. We also have Nina Bradbury, who is a board member of the Artist Network, and she is going to be our volunteer coordinator. And we had a volunteer coordinator in a dedicated role for the first time last year, and it made such a wonderful difference of support for the artists. And so she really does a fantastic job of making sure that you guys are well supported. And then finally, we will have Dan Hamilton, who is my right-hand man. And if it's not me that you're coming to, you'll be coming to him. So just to go over everything that we're going to go over, we've done who is Artist Network. We're going to go over date, location, times, key dates leading up to the event, participation requirements. It's a little dry, but we do go through the contract because it's super important and we want to make sure that you guys are really empowered and have all of the information available to you. And then we get into some of the more fun stuff like marketing and promotion. And then we get into the scary stuff or stuff that can be scary sometimes, which is the booth logistics. And we'll demystify that and make sure that you guys feel really confident. And then more fun stuff, we're going into rocking the show, where we're going to talk about selling, setting up your booth and your display, and also some really special initiatives and activations and contests that we have that are new this year. So we are going to be hosting our show at Jimmy Simpson Park. This is our 27th year in this location. So it's really well known in the neighborhood and beyond. And people are expecting to see us the first weekend of June. So that's where we're going to be. It's a great park, lots of wonderful community around. We're supported also by the Jimmy Simpson Community Center. And so that is May 31st and June 1st. Jimmy Simpson Park, Saturday is going to be 11 to 6, and Sunday is going to be 10 to 5. And that's east of Broadview on Queen Street at Queen and Booth. So key dates leading up to the show, fee payment and contract and waiver. We're past that date, so hopefully everyone has that done. May 18th, that is going to be the showcase submission deadline, and that is an exciting initiative that we have coming up that we'll get into a little bit later. That'll be something that you can apply to for an extra exhibition opportunity. May 23rd, this one is very, very important. If you remember, other than the show dates, I want you to remember this date. AER tent and equipment rentals, that's when those are due. So if you're going to be renting a tent or any equipment from our supplier, make sure that you get that form in before May 23rd. And also May 23rd will be the deadline for an optional Friday night setup. So let's get into our contract participation requirements. So artist obligations. The artist agrees to show work during event hours. Packing up early or being late to open may exclude you from future shows. To install and deinstall the booth within the set hours that we've provided for you. So that will be the allotted time before the show starts, and 1 hour after is when you're going to want to set up and take down. Booth requirements. You are required to supply a 10 by 10 white self-supporting booth with no self-supporting displays, no staking, and the tent must be weighted. So you don't have to rent your tent, but you can rent your tent. You can also bring your own tent with you. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. So your display should take up a maximum of a 10 by 10 area and contain your artwork within that allotted space. I know it might be tempting to create some sort of installation or giant sculpture or additional table outside of your booth, but that will not be permitted. We want to have all of the artwork inside of the booths to make sure that everything is really uniform. You must have your booth attended at all times. So please don't leave your booth unattended with no one in there. We have so many volunteers available to help make sure that you guys have restroom breaks and breathers, anything that you need. But for any break that is going to be longer than, say, 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to want to resource yourself with people that can come in and sit the booth with you, or sorry, sit the booth in your stead. So if you want to take a lunch break or go out to a restaurant, or if you need to go off site for any reason, your booth should always be attended with someone that can represent your art. You need to remove your artwork from the tent overnight. That is very important. You are expected to actively promote the event. We are promoting you, and we want you to promote the whole event in turn and your participation in the event. There are so many things that we're sharing online, and when you're actively
Listening to Matt? Yes, Matt.
Hi guys, just a reminder to everyone to please mute your mics. So actively promoting the event, sharing your participation on social media, that also allows us to reshare those kinds of things as well. So the more that you're promoting yourself, the more that we can promote you as well. And lastly, timely response to communications from Artist Network. So that would be from myself and from Barb. And so you're going to want to add, if you haven't already, express@eventany.com, info@artistnetwork.ca, and morgan@artistnetwork.ca to your contacts so that they don't go into the spam. And express@eventany.com is where you're going to be getting your booth assignment. So most communications will come from me at artistnetwork.ca, but some will come from Eventany, and occasionally those can get stuck in spam. So please be sure to make sure that you're looking out for those. Artwork criteria. So Riverdale ArtWalk, sorry guys. Riverdale ArtWalk is a fine art show. And we are expecting consistency with the images and the artwork that you submitted in your application. So it doesn't have to be the exact work that you submitted, but it should be similar within the same body of work. Originality, all of the displayed work must be original creations by yourself. You can't display anything created by anyone else. And this is a very important one. No functional items. So mugs, bowls, posters, coasters, apparel, clothing, pillows, tote bags, other household or wearable goods are not permitted. This includes any work intended primarily for use rather than display. Only original and reproduction 2D or 3D fine art is intended for wall or display presentation may be exhibited. We are pretty strict on this, and this kind of helps us to maintain a certain air for the show where we're really making sure that we're displaying works of a high quality. Once we get into wearables and household goods and things like that, it becomes something that is not aligned with being a fine art show. So we are quite strict with that, and we will be going around and you will be flagged if you are exhibiting something that you shouldn't be. So please be sure to be mindful of that. And I know that whole spiel sounds a little bit scary, but we're not scary at all. So if you have any questions about any items that you're planning on displaying, just shoot me an email. I'm very happy to take a look at what you want to show and let you know if it's appropriate, if you have any questions about it. Limited reproductions. So photographs and digital works must be signed and numbered and limited to 100 prints per image. Only 2 versions of each image can be displayed at once. Artists may display reproductions of their original non-photographic or digital work, but these must not exceed 15% of the total hanging space across the 3 walls of a standard 10 by 10 booth. So this equals 27 square feet, or roughly 1/3 of one wall, just to give you guys kind of a visualization. All reproductions must be clearly labeled. Open edition prints are permitted, but only 1 copy of each image may be displayed at one time. Note cards, no problem, may be shown in multiples and are included in that 15% limit. So all of that is to say that prints are allowed, but keep them to 1/3 of one wall of your booth area, or you can disperse it with it throughout your booth, but it shouldn't be taking up any more than 15%. We do want a majority of original art in your work. Enforcement, artists are expected to cooperate fully with Artist Network. Non-compliance or violation of rules may result in removal from the show and forfeiture in future participation rights. Use of images. You agree to let us use your images in promoting the show, and I'm sure that you all want that as well. Usage includes postcards, social media ads, posters, and you have the option to opt out by contacting me. The deadline was today. It was noted in the contract, but if you are feeling really strongly about it, feel free to email me. Exhibiting artists consents to event filming and documentation. We'll be having some people running around taking social media videos and all of that fun stuff. So you also agree not to obstruct any photography or video and get in the way of our photographer or videographers. Artists whose works are captured consent to commercial use by Artist Network for marketing and advertising purposes. So we'll be furthering sharing and potentially using some of that content for next year as well. Code of conduct. The Artist Network values fairness, honesty, integrity, and openness in all interactions. All individuals are treated with equality and dignity, regardless of demographics or beliefs. The same is expected of all participants. Zero tolerance for abusive or threatening behavior towards team members, volunteers, and fellow artists. This will not be tolerated. Consequences of noncompliance may lead to immediate expulsion from the show without refund. So when we're talking about this, something that load in, load out can be a little bit of a stressful time, and it might be something that you're feeling a little bit of tension around, you're rushing around. We just ask that you be mindful of yourself and be mindful of the volunteers and the staff that are helping you, and just do your best to be nice. Artists are generally a really wonderful, kind group of people, and so we expect you to adhere to that. So action items, again, we're at May 1st, so you will have done this already. Pay your booth fees, sign your contract by April 27th. Cancellation policy. Failure to pay by the deadline outlined will result in your spot being forfeited, and your submission and participation in Riverdale ArtWalk will be deemed canceled. Artist cancellations must be made in writing to me before April 27th. All fees are non-refundable, and in the unlikely event that the show is canceled, participation fees will be reimbursed. All right, now on to the fun stuff. Marketing and promotion. Social media. Share. So connect with audiences online by sharing your excitement, but also your story. Something that we found that's been really successful in getting collectors engaged and getting people to the event is not just sharing finished works, but also sharing the inspiration behind your work or works in progress. Getting people to feel connected in and involved in the creation of your work is something that works really well as a tool on social media, because then they're connecting with the artist as well as the image. And the best posts will be shared on the Raw social media accounts. And I have to say that we love collab posts. Any way that you can make it easier for us to share your work is something that we are fully supportive of. So we love collab posts. Tag us in collaborative reels. We will share the best ones. And also always tag us at Riverdale ArtWalk in your stories. And we do a lot of story resharing as well. Something else that I really want to encourage you guys to do is to create community. So we have a artist group that is just for participants of the show on Facebook, and it's quite active, and there's a lot of artists that are chatting together and talking about different hanging strategies and success stories and what they did last year that worked for them and all of those wonderful things. So please be sure to join the artist group and create community there, because the shows are even more fun when you are connected to other artists and you're making friends and meeting people and sharing networks. So use the hashtag Riverdale ArtWalk on posts, follow, and comment on your fellow artists' posts. The best way to make sure that the Riverdale ArtWalk account sees your posts is to actually tag it. So if you hashtag it, it'll come up when people are searching it, but it might not be something that I'm automatically aware of. So make sure that you're actually tagging the account at Riverdale ArtWalk when you're sharing. We also have a Facebook event. Facebook is not necessarily the primary social media platform for artists always, but it is still super, super useful for event-specific sharing. So we do have a Facebook event, so feel free to invite your networks to that and also share your artwork in the discussion area. And lastly, use your newsletter to invite and inform your audience, and you can direct them. I need to update. Oh, no, it'll be fine. That will redirect properly to riverdaleartwalk.ca or artistnetwork.ca. And they will land when they go there to the artist gallery, which we'll talk about in a second. So social media, we have created easy mode graphics for you guys. So we've got the show poster that shows kind of the audience experience, the collector experience of being surrounded by art in a beautiful park. And then we also have an opportunity for you to connect your work directly to the event graphic. So this is a graphic where you can just drop in your own painting. And you'll find all of these assets in the artist handbook, and you can download them there. And when I'm saying drop in your own image, that's really easy to do. You can do that in Photoshop, in Illustrator, in Canva. So really accessible. And we also have the Riverdale ArtWalk Artist Gallery. So we've got a gallery of all 165 artists who are participating. So if you want to hop over there and see if one of your friends is participating, or if you want to share your own profile with your audiences, you're welcome to do that. We're going to be sharing this with media, we're going to be sharing it with our mailing list, and everybody has their own dedicated profile that includes a few examples of their work and also their artist statement. So this is a great way for audiences to get to know you in advance of the show and after the show, because we're going to keep this live until the artist call goes out for our 2026 event. So this is going to be living on the Artist Network website for a long time after. So even if someone encounters you at the show and maybe they don't buy at that time, they'll still be able to find you. And I am the person that is editing these. So if you see an edit or you want to make a change on any of your images, just shoot me an email. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the marketing efforts that we're making as Artist Network. And these are just some of the things that we're doing. So we're working with Toronto Life, Classical FM, 680 News. We're doing a lot of social media meta ads. Broadview Hotel is also a promotional partner. We've got ads going on Spotify. We are sending out, I think, 40,000 postcards to different neighborhoods in Toronto to get the flyer directly in the hands of people who are likely to attend. And we also have a media sponsorship with a PR company, Trillium Communications, that will be reaching out to different media outlets. Booth and on-site logistics. Booth assignments and park maps. So the booth assignments and a detailed shareable map will be made available to you in mid-May, probably early mid-May, and you will receive that notice of your booth number in Eventini. So you'll get the notice in Eventini, you can click it, and then you can see your number and you'll see where you are on the map. And that's something that can help you plan your booth configuration, whether or not you get a corner booth or if you're in a middle row or anything like that. And that can potentially affect the items that you might want to rent from AAR as well. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Artists are placed on the map as their name is drawn randomly in 2 slots. So if you applied as an early bird artist, that was before February 5th, we'll be placing you on the map at random first, and then regular submissions will be in the second lot. Booth requests are not guaranteed. We did receive a lot of booth requests at the time of submission, but some artists who are newer may not have known where they wanted to request to be. So we also do have a request form that's available in the handbook as well. And again, requests are not guaranteed, but it is something that we do our best to accommodate. And I also want to encourage anyone who has accessibility needs to please let me know so that we can make sure that we are considering that in placements. So booth assignment may be subject to change via Artist Network or City of Toronto, just based on park conditions and things like that. Tents are not provided in the ArtWalk participation fee. All participating artists must secure a white 10 by 10 freestanding tent for the weekend. If you choose to rent equipment, you have to use our rental partner, AER Event Rentals, and you can complete the form provided and email it to raw2025 at all cargos by Friday, May 23rd. Pricing includes installation and removal, so they will put the tent up for you and they'll put the weights on. Grids will, if you rent grids from them, if they're the freestanding grids, they'll set that up for you. But if they are hanging grids, then they will be left on the floor of your tent by the time that you get there on Saturday. Upon ordering from AER, make sure that you receive an email confirmation and a purchase receipt to verify that your order has been received and processed. AER is a third-party supplier. The Artist Network is not responsible for your rental agreements. Direct all order-related questions and submit your completed order form directly to AER Event Rentals. If you don't have your booth number by the time you want to submit your order. So if you want to submit your order in advance of getting that information, you can just put to come in the area where it is prompting you for your booth number. They're very used to that, and we will keep them updated on what your assignment is. And also AER will have a support person on site, at least for the first day of the fair. So you can rent, these are the options that you can rent from AER. We've got a 10 by 10 white canopy pop-up, and that includes weights. You can rent plastic folding chairs, you can rent banquet tables, you can rent linen table covers, you can rent the grid fence panels with the stand. That's what's displayed here. You can also rent S-hooks, and or you can supply your own. But all of these things are available for rent, but you can also supply your own of any of these items. If you rented from AER, your tent structure will be ready for you when you load in on Saturday. Any grids ordered from AER will be left lying in your booth area for you to hang unless they are the freestanding ones. Note the grids are not included in the basic tent rental. And all of the pricing for all of the rentals is available in the rental form that is in the handbook. Securing your tent. So Riverdale ArtWalk is rain or shine and takes place regardless of weather conditions. So make sure that you're considering potential weather and consider bringing a white protective tarp or heavy duty plastic sheeting to shield your work in the event of heavy rains. The tent is water resistant, but it is not waterproof, so be mindful of that. Securing your tent, and this is a really cool pro tip that has been shared over time from different artists who have participated in the events. And I just think it's so cool. You can insert pool noodles or hula hoops into the corners of your tent so that those areas of fabric don't pool up with water in the event of rain. And I just think that's so fun. You can also coordinate it to your palette. There's lots of ways to be creative with that. All tents must be secured with weights and are mandatory in case of wind, and there is no staking at all permitted on any of the tents, regardless of if they are rented or your own. And another fun pro tip about tents is even if you're bringing your own tent, you might want to order just weights from AER. That way you don't have to lug your own weights, and they'll just be in your booth space already for you. That is something that quite a few artists really like to do. So loading in and loading out. Load in and setup begins on Saturday, May 31st at 8 and will be assigned in 15-minute slots until 9:30. Parking will not be available during that time. You will receive detailed instructions on where to go and when. We'll have lots of volunteers directing you, and I'll be sending out a detailed schedule. AER will set up rentals on Friday night. So if you rented from AER, your rental will be ready when you arrive on Saturday. And this is an additional option that we have. We have a limited option to set up your tent on Friday evening, and that's for tents and grids only, and that's intended for people who are using their own tents. We're really strict that there's no artwork to be left in the tents overnight that have been installed on Friday, and you definitely need to sign up for that, and there's a form in the handbook related for that as well. So we will have security on Friday and Saturday night. The security guard's role is to patrol the area, but they can't be in all places at all times. So we strongly recommend that all artists unload all artwork and valuables out of their booth overnight. Any loss, damage, or theft shall be the sole liability of the artists. It's not fun to talk about, but we have had artwork damaged or stolen in the past. It's not often, it's not every show, but it does happen. So if you think that you're gonna squeak by and get away with just leaving it overnight, I would not recommend that. And that, again, that is the artist's sole responsibility. And again, I'll be sharing a detailed load in and load out schedule, complete with map graphics and all that fun stuff leading up to the show. Limited overnight storage on Saturday night only. Jimmy Simpson Park or Jimmy Simpson Community Center lets us use their gym overnight to store artist artwork. There will be limited space available in the rec center for overnight storage. So we're not recommending that you take every single little piece that's in your booth and store it overnight there, but more large or heavy items that are not easily taken with you. And that will open on Saturday at 6 p.m. and will close at 7. And on Sunday, it will open at 7:30 and will close sharply at 8:15. So the show itself opens at 10 on Sunday. The gym does have programming that is starting quite early in the morning. So this is the latest time that they're able to accommodate any artwork in the gym. So please be very mindful of that and plan in advance if you're going to be using the overnight storage. And there's no assigned spots. We would also recommend that you use bins or carts, and be mindful that there is one regular door entrance to get in. So if you have an oversized cart, that might be difficult or unable to get through the door. So just be mindful. It only takes a second to kind of poke your head over to the gym and see what the situation is, if you might be able to accommodate a big cart or not. And use at your own risk. Artist Network is not responsible for loss or damage. All items must be removed by 8:15 a.m. Keep the space clean and respect fellow artists, community center staff, and raw volunteers. Checking in and what to expect. So once you get to the show, once you have loaded out your tent and your items, come check in with us at the Artist Network booth. This is going to be a booth that is at Booth and Queen, and we'll have lots of Artist Network signage and all that good stuff. And you will recognize a friendly face. That is Barb, who is our administrator, and she will be at the booth there, and I will be there as well greeting you. When you come to the Artist Network booth, you're going to pick up your welcome package, sign in. You're going to get a booth sign, your name tag, the event map, and a few other goodies in your artist info package as well. So this is your place where you can find artist support, first aid in the event that you need it. Lost and Found is also available here. And washrooms, you can access the washrooms at the Jimmy Simpson Rec Center, and that's going to be 9 to 7 on Saturday and 9 to 6:30 on Sunday. Food and drink, we don't have any on-site food vendors, but there are so many tasty options nearby in the neighborhood. We're really spoiled for choice in Leslieville. Make sure that you coordinate booth coverage if you're taking a long lunch break or lunch break in general. And we also will have coffee at the Artist Network booth, just complimentary to get you kickstarted for your day. Parking. The Jimmy Simpson Community Center parking lot is not to be used by artists. That is for staff only. We do have alternative parking suggestions in the handbook, but make sure that you are aware that you cannot park anywhere on site at the community center or the park. Volunteers and support. We will have a team of amazing volunteers ready to support you at the event, and that's going to be led by the wonderful Nina Bradbury. Volunteers can watch your booth for short periods, so you can take washroom breaks. Volunteers will not be transporting or touching your art, just to make sure that nothing gets damaged and anything like that, but they can watch things for you. And volunteers will also assist with the coordination of the showcase wall at the Artist Network booth. So to best support yourself for setting up or for longer breaks, we recommend you arrange for your own support person. Your booth must be attended at all times. And if you have anyone who is in the volunteering spirit, especially young people who may be looking for volunteer hours at this time, the volunteer call for our show is live and is on the Artist Network website. So be sure to share that. All right, now we're at my favorite section of the orientation. So planning your booth display. So something that's really, really important, especially for people who are doing their first time shows or doing their first time show at Riverdale ArtWalk, is to really visualize every step of how you're going to execute your booth. How are you going to display your artwork? What materials are necessary to hang your grids? Do you need zip ties, things like that? What's needed to hang your work securely? Do you need S-hooks? Do you want zip ties for that? Do you need D-rings? Are you going to be wired? Do you require a table for your display if you have sculptural elements, or do you want to put note cards on a table? Do you want to put your contact information book or your artist statement on that? Do you want to order custom signage? You will be receiving a booth sign that has the logo of the event, your name, and your booth number. But do you want to have additional signage? If you have a corner booth, will you be hanging work on the outside of that wall and taking advantage of that extra exhibition space? Where will you be storing your personal belongings during the exhibition? Are you going to put them underneath the table that you've rented? If you are doing that, do you need a tablecloth to cover it? How are you going to organize your packing materials? What method will you be using to capture the contact info of your interested patrons? All of these things. So all of these things related to planning your booth display, how you're actually going to set it up, how you're going to transport all of your materials. We also have had a cool pro tip shared from Kate Taylor, where she suggests pre-packing your car to see what fits, so that you're not the morning of trying to shove everything in there, so that you feel really organized. And doing this kind of visualization and really walking yourself through all of these details, it might seem a little bit overkill, but it's something that's going to really resource you and really make sure that you feel comfortable as you can coming up to the show. And planning actually makes you more adaptable in the long run. And I also want to recommend that you watch an awesome video that we have in the handbook as well. And that's an excerpt from the 2023 orientation with Kate Taylor and Angela Lane, where they go over display options. It's about 8 minutes and it's super, super valuable. They go over every little minutia that you could think of in terms of displaying and hanging and different types of grids and weather and all of that good stuff. So definitely worth checking that out as an additional resource. So here we have a few examples of different booths and different grid setups. So we've got one artist over here who has used the standing grids and rented those from AER. This is a really nice plug and play kind of situation. We also have another artist who's using this white like construction fencing that is special ordered and is something that is accessible to order online. And that's something that's really easy to install as well with zip ties along the supports of your tent. We also have an artist here who has taken advantage of the corner booth display and also got an additional grid on the side of their tent as well. So they've really thought out the rentals and all of the display opportunities. And I think that's actually Jamie McLean, who's going to be showing again this year and helped with creating the show last year. So shout out to Jamie for his awesome display. We also have Morgan Jones here, who is using these hanging grids and installing them in different panels in different ways throughout the booth. And I also wanted to highlight this really interesting external panel where they've built almost another third of a wall of display space. And it also creates this kind of room that is very inviting for collectors to go see. So lots of creative ways to take advantage of that 10 by 10 space. Selling at the show. ArtWalk or Riverdale ArtWalk is a commission-free show, which is great. There are some shows that are not, so we're really happy and proud to be commission-free for sales. So you retain 100% of the profits from your artwork sales. We do have a video in the handbook as well that is success strategies for outdoor art shows. And that's about an hour long, and it's 6 artists who are really well versed in selling at the show, and they're giving some really wonderful, insightful tips and doing a real deep dive into selling opportunities and how you can make the most of your weekend. So managing sales, as an artist, you are responsible for processing your own sales and collecting any required tax. So for smooth and secure transactions, we would recommend using Square. There's a few different options, but this is the one that we're familiar with. We don't manage this. This is something that you would procure on your own, but it's very easy to use. I've used it a lot myself. Artist Network does offer credit card processing services if you are a member. So if you want to take advantage of that, link up with Barb at the Artist Network booth, but we prefer that you would email her in advance. And again, all of this contact information and everything is in the handbook, so you don't have to worry about writing down any of these email addresses or details or anything. And that service comes with a 5% processing fee just to cover credit card processing. So something else that you want to think about is planning for receipts. Are you going to be providing e-receipts? Are you going to have a paper book for receipts? That's something that you can easily pick up at Staples. And a lot of artwork sales are going to be higher ticket items and higher spend items for people, so they are going to want receipts. There's a lot of great tax deductible opportunities for businesses or people who are buying for their business. So make sure that you're creating a good trail for them to be able to use that. And it's also just good professional practice. And this one's super, super, super important. Test your payment method before the show. Even just putting through a couple of $1 transactions before you go to the show can really help you troubleshoot, because you don't want to lose a sale or feel flustered or not be able to use your chosen payment method when you're actually on site. So that's something that should be a part of your visualization strategy of how you're going to move through the show, is testing your payment method and making sure that you know how to use it and that you're all registered for it. And also bring extra phone batteries. Bring an additional battery with you on site so that you're not caught without it. We do not have power and we do not have Wi-Fi at the show. So make sure that your data plan is robust enough to handle your internet usage and that you have enough portable battery power with you to make sure that you're empowered to make those sales. Pricing strategy. So make sure that when you're visualizing how you're moving through the show, how are you pricing your works? Are you pricing them consistently? And make sure that you're pricing them consistently by size of material. And it's always a good idea to have a good variety of prices available. So having some smaller pieces can promote sales quickly and really justify the cost of your booth fee quite quickly. And it's also a really great opportunity to engage new collectors. So people who are creating a purchase of a low risk item and establishing that relationship with you, and maybe they buy larger pieces later on. So think of all of the different pieces that you want to bring of different sizes. Always nice to have a couple of big pieces as well. And something else to think about is, will you offer discounts? And how will you negotiate handling price? So that's something that I would definitely encourage you guys to practice with your friends and family. Because you don't want to be put on the spot and feel uncomfortable negotiating or haggling or anything like that. So practice how you're going to handle that. Think about what level of discount feels comfortable to you and how are you going to close those sales. Something to also consider is taxes. Will you be collecting HST? Are you going to build your HST into the price of your work? Will you be posting the price of the HST separately with your prices? So think about everything that you want to have on your display card beside your pieces and what your tax collection strategy is as well. Sales tips. So as we were talking about in the marketing portion, storytelling is a really important tool to connect and make sales. So a good idea is to have your artist bio and statement available in your booth and to be familiar with it yourself so that you're ready to chat about your work. And this is something that you should maybe practice with friends and family before the show. Just practice talking about your work, practice feeling confident about your work, practice talking about your favorite part of your process, help people that are looking at your work feel included in the story of creating it so that they feel connected to what they see. Have confidence and keep an upbeat attitude. Sometimes there may be periods of slowness at the show, but make sure that you're keeping up your confidence and maintaining an upbeat attitude because people connect well with people who are radiating friendliness. So make sure that you also bring extra pieces to replace sold work because you're going to sell so much awesome work. And you want to make sure that you have more to replace it and that you don't just have blank walls. And as I was saying so don't be discouraged if someone sees your work and chooses to leave without purchasing. I have myself bought many pieces from artists that I've seen at shows and have followed up with them later after taking some time to think about it. So every person that is in your booth that is checking out your work is a potential possible collector, maybe at a later date. Something to note also with confidence and an upbeat attitude is that show vibes can be contagious. So if you're having an afternoon where you're not having great interaction for an hour, just try to keep your confidence. Don't necessarily be sharing that with the people that are around you. You want to keep everybody on the up with their attitude. And so this is just kind of a summary of all of these items. Booth supplies, think about zip ties, S-hooks. Red dots are one of my absolute favorite show supplies. So when you sell a work, make sure that you're putting a red dot beside it. And if that piece walks out with the collector, amazing. You can still place that red dot in your booth. A lot of artists will have a portion of their booth or just a little sign where they're placing red dots next to all of the tags for all of the pieces that have left. This is a fantastic way to really show value to people that are walking by. They're walking by and seeing all these red dots and getting excited about your work because they know that other people are excited about it too. Some things that seem obvious but are easy to forget: pens, your packing materials, signage, phone battery, tools. Always easy to just keep a screwdriver in your pack in case you need to tighten a D-ring or things like that. Likely you're going to be using a lot of zip ties, so be sure to bring a utility knife as well. Super important to make a packing list, and that's also something that you can make during that visualization of how you're going to be setting up your booth at the show. Connecting with patrons, have your elevator pitch. A really great tip from Jamie McLean as well is to consider a taller seat, like a director's chair. So that means that you are sitting almost at eye level with people when they're walking by and they're coming into your booth, but you're still able to be sitting and taking rest as you need it. A little bit easier than jumping up from a folding chair or things like that, where it just creates a really natural interaction that you're already sitting at eye level. After the show, make sure that you're delivering work promptly and following up on leads. Send a thank you email to the contacts that you've collected. Reflect on the show and really write down all of the things that you think that you learned during the show while it's fresh, because if you want to bring those lessons into future shows, that's always really useful. And make sure that you're following your other artist friends that you've met on social media. But something that I like to do when I know that I'm going to be expending a lot of energy for a show is writing a draft of an email to thank people before the show. So draft an email about following up on leads and something to thank the contacts that you made before the show, because you might be a little bit brain dead after, because it's a lot of interaction, it's a lot of energy expenditure. But if you're resourcing yourself with things like that, it's really easy to plug and play and write something personal at the top of the email, and then you have the rest of the body written for you. Something else that's super, super important is to take care of yourself. Bringing water, we will have water available as well, but make sure that you have your own water because we will not have endless supply. Make sure that you're bringing your own sunblock. Yes, you'll be in your tent, but sometimes the sun will be going into your tent, so be mindful of that. Electrolyte tablets are always something that's really great to have on hand, and a really easy way to perk yourself up. Make sure that you have snacks, layers. We're in Canada, so the temperature can change at the tip of a hat, so make sure that you have layers. Also a good idea to have a change of clothes for after load-in if you get a little bit sweaty, and plan for a friend to sit your booth for longer breaks. We have promotional materials, so think about postcards, your own postcards. Do you want to make postcards? Do you want something for people to have as a freebie to give away that they'll remember you by? Booth signage, business cards, your guest book, your artist bio. When do you need to have all of those things ready? When do you need to submit that to the printer? So think about all of those things in advance and make a work back from the show date when you want to have all of those things done. And use the provided support. So the handbook grows more and more robust with resources as we get closer to the show, and connect with me and use the online and the on-site resources. So I'm super friendly. I love talking to artists. I am an artist myself, so feel free to reach out anytime. I love chatting about the show, and I love chatting about how you can be successful at the show. So feel free to reach out by email to me anytime. And our last section here is talking about the fun activations and contests that we've got going on this year. So we have had many years of the Artist Awards sponsored by Above Ground. So we'll have that back again this year. We'll have a panel of arts professionals that walk around the site of the show. They spend a few hours visiting every booth and looking at work and interacting with artists. And we will be distributing awards to a lucky few artists. So we've got Best in Show, Best in Painting, Best in Mixed Media, Best in Photography, and Alternative Media. Winners receive a gift card and a gift bag from Above Ground Art Supplies, and they get a very cool plaque that will be available for them to display for the whole rest of the weekend. These awards are given out midday on Saturday. The judges come around on Saturday morning. So you'll be able, if you win, you'll be able to display that plaque for the whole rest of the weekend. And the Best in Show recipient also will receive a free booth at the 2026 event. So kind of a big deal. Very exciting. A new initiative or relatively new initiative that we've got going is a People's Choice voting contest. So this will be presented by Leslie Grove Gallery this year. Leslie Grove Gallery is Artist Network's gallery, and we'll have a QR code sign that's going to be placed at every single booth, and the public can scan that and enter your booth number and vote for you. And that's a really fun way to encourage people to interact with you, interact with your booth, interact with your art. And it's just something that's very accessible to everyone. We had a huge amount of participation last year, and that was something that was really successful. And via the sponsorship of Leslie Grove Gallery, the winner is going to receive a 2-week online exhibition to be hosted at Leslie Grove Gallery website. And we will be promoting the exhibition across all of our social media and our very extensive mailing list. We have a dedicated patrons mailing list as well. And you'll also be featured prominently on Instagram across our various platforms. We also have the VIP Collector Station, which is going to be sponsored by Dimensions. So the Collector Station is a really cool initiative that we wanted to start to help art buyers feel appreciated. So this is something that they can do. They'll buy a piece of your artwork and then you'll send them to the VIP Collector Station and they can get their artwork wrapped for transport. So just some craft paper and bubble wrap, and really carefully done by professional framers. And that will help them transport it to their car or wherever they're traveling, things like that. And it's also just something that's a nice touch. And it also saves you some packing materials as well. And there they can also enter a contest to win framing services. And this is really fun because if they win the framing contest, you win as well. So they're signing up for the contest, but they're signing you up as well because they've bought your work. So you will also get a framing gift card if you win. And then finally, we have the artist showcase. So every year we put together a gallery wall that is on the back of the Artist Network booth and is visible to Queen Street. And this really entices people who are walking by to come join us in the show and see what's going on. So this year, this is going to be a little bit different. We are going to have this via the Leslie Grove Gallery. So previously, you would put your piece here, and if someone wanted to buy it, they had to go find you at your booth. We're going to make it super, super easy this year. There's going to be a QR code, and that person can just buy it there, show proof of payment to the Artist Network staff, and we will send them home with it. And we'll also send them to your booth to meet you. But this is going to be submission based. So we'll probably have about 20 to 30 available spots within this showcase. So if you want to participate, that's something that you need to submit to by May 18th. And that's going to be something that is available for purchase on site on May 31st and June 1st. And that's going to be available through purchase in person only for those days. But then for the whole month, after the show, we're going to keep this showcase up online and available for sale on the artistnetwork.ca through Leslie Grove Gallery. And if you sell any of your work, or if you sell your piece that's in this showcase, it's only a 5% commission to cover that fee. So be sure to sign up for that. I've got the submission in the handbook as well. And last but not least, Artist Network provides education sessions for artists, and something that we have coming up on May 21st, so in advance of the show, is how to price your work like a pro. And so this is very, very useful. And this is actually with Stuart Thompson, who's also in the show as well. So if you want, and David, who's moderating it, is also in the show. So be sure to sign up for this. It is $25 for non-members or completely free if you are an Artist Network member. And this is going to be a great resource to help you feel confident in your pricing strategy. All right, so that is what I got. And now I think we're going to open it to questions and check out the chat and see what questions we've collected over the course of the presentation.
Thanks, Morgan. That was really great. I've noticed not a person has left since the beginning, so
Great.
great information. I've been answering the questions as we go along. Just in case anybody hasn't been looking, there was a question about on-site storage. Morgan answered that. Another one about password to get into the handbook. And the handbook will change throughout. David Geen mentioned about the presentation that Morgan just talked about. So that would be really important. And one thing I couldn't answer is if your showcase piece sells, can you replace it with another if you're one of the selected artists?
That is a great question and something that we will think about as a team, and we'll release with some details about that. But that's a really great question. I appreciate thinking about that.
It is, yes, absolutely. Do clients pay for wrapping? Jen has asked, and this would be at the wrapping station.
That is a completely complimentary service, and
Yeah.
it's just meant to make the buyers feel really appreciated.
Yeah. Stuart has asked if there is power available.
No, we will not have power. Definitely recommending bringing your own power banks.
So get everything charged. And I think the other thing that you didn't mention is about Square. If you've got that on your phone, make sure that you try it a couple days before and you're on the latest version.
Yeah.
Do you have carts available, or do we drive up close to our booth at the end of Saturday? Can we drive to get our stuff? So no cars on the park.
No cars on the park. Definitely not. We would recommend that you bring your own cart or wagon. There's some really great wagons at Canadian Tire, and they usually go on sale this time of year. I got a really good deal on mine last year, and they actually fold up and are easy to put into the car. So would recommend using something like that. You can also talk to AER about using carts, because I believe that they have some as well, but that's something that you would want to coordinate with them.
And remember, you're rolling them over grass.
Yeah.
So wagons are great. People also have the carts that are flat, and then you just bungee cord your art or whatever it is. Another option, and it's a little bit more costly, is from Uline. I got a Rubbermaid, almost like a laundry cart. And so it fits a lot of art. And then when you're setting up, you can just take a large piece, put it across the top, and it works kind of as a table as well. But they work very, very well. Yeah. So the next one is, does the wrapping apply to all sizes of artwork, or should we wrap and provide bags for very small pieces?
I would leave that at your discretion, because we do want to be encouraging people to use that service. But yeah, at your discretion. You're welcome to, of course, bring your own packing materials, and we do encourage that, because there's, there's going to be many thousands of pieces at the show, but you can definitely send them to the collector station.
Yeah, and I know last year I brought small bags, and they had maybe some branding for smaller pieces, because if somebody buys, for instance, a 4x4 or a 6x6, they may not feel like they want to stand in line. But it's totally, this is really, the collector station is such a great amenity for the artists. Everybody absolutely loved it last year, and we made a really big deal when somebody purchased something. And as Morgan says, they would give, the collector would give their name, and they'd give your name. And then we do a draw after for some free framing. So Dimensions is our new sponsor this year, and they do beautiful, beautiful work. The next one is, will all the artwork sold packaged at the VIP station? I'm not quite sure. I think that the collector has to take the artwork from you, with the little receipt that says that, who they are and who you are. And then they take it to the collector's, station, the wrapping station, which will be by Queen Street and by the Artist Network, booth. I don't know if I answered that properly. This is a good one. Is there going to be a street shutdown along Queen with the Ontario line construction? Well, you see some very relieved people here because up until yesterday, it was not confirmed as to whether or not Queen Street would be shut down. However, yesterday at the end of the day, we received confirmation from Councillor Fletcher's office that there would be no Metrolink or Ontario line shutdown. So, yeah, that was a little bit, not all of us slept every night in the last little while, but we're all good to go. So, next one, Walmart has great bins with wheels and handles. And that sounds great. The only consideration is you want things that'll fold down, and maybe this does, because you got to put a lot of stuff in your vehicle. And there's a couple more. You had a typo on the restriction. I think that it said functional pieces are not restricted. However, it did say permitted at the end, but I think there was a not in the beginning. It's sort of, and the last one, what kind of a cart did you get at Ugliness? Would that be Uline? I'm not sure. Yeah.
At Canadian Tire, that was a fold-up wagon.
Fold up wagon, and I got a Rubbermaid lawn, yes, Uline. Yeah, that was like almost a laundry cart, so it was vinyl with a metal frame, and then it went together. I used the rolling bin to put my packing materials, ties, hooks, cutters, everything that is not art and needs to be brought fits in the bin. It is convenient and smart packing. Great. And I think Brenda asked about, is there a free art exchange draw? So every once in a while, we shake things up a little bit and offer new things like the wrapping station. This year, we will not be doing the I Gave Art. We looked at the results of what we've done over the years, and often there's not really a tie-in to who the artist is and who receives the work. And so we weren't really quite sure that it was benefiting us the way that we wanted it to. And so we're not going to do it this year. And, we're doing some other really cool initiatives instead. But yeah, so a lot of artists will do a draw within their booth, and they will give away a piece. And so maybe take the piece you were going to give to us and give it away in the booth.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
And
go Leafs. Are we allowed to park on Queen Street to unload our stuff? All of the load in and load out information will be coming out. So basically, what typically happens is you pull up, you unload everything, you move your car, and then you come back and take it to your booth. Is that correct, Morgan?
yeah, that's correct. And we will have volunteers to watch the art while you move your car.
So the main thing is that we really don't have enough space for people to just sit there. And so when Morgan talked about things that irk other people or irk artists, is someone just having no disregard for the other artists and the fact that everybody needs to get in around the same time, and just leaving their car and blocking spaces that would really help others to you know, we have, it's a very tight time frame to get people in and get people out, and we will get that information closer to the date. So how does everybody feel? Excited? Yeah, it's a really, really,
excited.
really great show. And especially for people that have never done it before. There's nothing like putting up your art and spending the weekend looking at the art and really feeling it and getting other people to react and you know, getting feedback and discussing and everything else. It's just, it's such an amazing feeling. I remember the first time I did Riverdale ArtWalk, I put it all together and I was just exhausted. And I sat on the bench and I thought, what the hell are you doing? And by the end of it, it was such an amazing experience that I myself do 8 to 12 most years. So it's really, really wonderful. And you'll have lots of support. Barb and Morgan will have volunteers to help. And yes, and someone said, don't hesitate to ask the Facebook. We all want to help other artists. I will say one other thing, and that is that although we're doing a lot of advertising and we put a lot of money into it, we're not responsible to bring your buyers. So if we all work together and we all use social media and we plug each other and we collaborate, and that's how we'll get people there. We have done some new things. We're on the news. We were the featured group last year on 680 News. But if we all work together, we'll have really amazing results and a lot of fun.
I agree, Carolyn. I cannot wait. It's going to be a great show. And we'll all keep our fingers crossed for amazing sunny skies as well.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Anything can happen. But last year we had a little bit of rain. We had some beautiful weather. We pretty much had everything, but it was an amazing weekend. Any other questions? Oh, some new messages. Oh, somebody's birthday on the Saturday. Excellent.
And
Well,
also a good marketing strategy, Patty. I like it.
yeah. Yeah. And realistically, you know, I might bring 10 people and one might buy my art and 3 might buy somebody else's art. And, you know, so the more we bring to the fair, everybody connects with different artists, the better it's going to be. And so, yes. Isabel asked a question, can you use e-transfer? Yes, some artists do that. Hopefully they buy mine. Well, these are not for the faint of heart, but they're lots of fun. Yeah, anything else? I guess if not, we can, and I'm looking forward, and I know Morgan and Barb are, if they don't already know you, we're looking forward to meeting everyone. And as Morgan said, we'll have a photographer there. We'll have some great photographs and experiences, and yeah, it'll be great.
Amazing. Thank you everyone so much. And I will be sending out lots of updates as we get closer. I think Melinda was asking when we're going to get booth assignments. I'm aiming to get that out early May, so quite shortly. And yeah, I will see you all in your inboxes, and then I'll see you all at the park.
Thank you so much.